Greg Davis. I found some archive clips. I'll share them now.
Question from the prosecution, and Darlie Routier's image as a caring mother was in the line of fire. Prosecutors asked medical personnel who treated Darlie the morning of the attack, how did she react after she knew her boys had been killed? Nurse Christopher Wilgas said her eyes were tearful, but there was not a whole lot of emotion. Trauma coordinator Jody Cotner said, most mothers are inconsolable. She was withdrawn, did not cry very often, was detached. Dr. Patrick DeLon said he had never seen someone react the way she did. Jody Cotner also testified when she brought Darlie's surviving son, Drake, into her hospital room to give his mother a kiss, she turned her head away.
What we have is nurse after nurse, doctor after doctor saying that they've never seen a person in her position react this way. And it certainly goes to her ability to relate information, and it also goes to whether or not she was truly grieving or not.
It's interesting, the nurses' records that are in evidence, no one mentioned that she had a flat effect. It's
because in the nurse's focus notes, anyone can look this up. In focus notes, they're not permitted to give opinion, only what they see. No doubt Darlie was crying, whiny, upset, but they couldn't give their opinion as to why they felt that until they got on the stand. You can read all this in testimony. Go to the Darlie Routier War Room on Facebook and look in the files section, and you can see the testimony that we're talking about here.
It's not in any of the nurse's notes. In fact, the only thing in the nurse's notes is that she was tearful, frightened, crying, emotionally upset, and
no opinions. Just what they're seeing right there. They can't put their opinion in it. They can only put what they see. The notes are then given over to the doctors and the medical examiners.
And all the nurses said she sat in her bed with pictures of the children and cried when she looked at them.
Witnesses also testified that a large bruise on Routier's right arm was a blunt trauma injury, not caused by a stab wound. Each one testified, though they treated her, they did not see the bruise while she was initially hospitalized. Prosecutors tried to convince jurors the 27-year-old got the bruise after she left the hospital. Sources say the prosecution may be going after this point so that Routier cannot claim she got the bruise fighting off an attacker.
But her family says they know dozens of people who saw those bruises while Routier was still in the hospital, and they plan on making a list of those witnesses to give to the prosecution.
And they never made a list. And it's not the prosecution that you wanted to give it to. It'd be the defense. So the defense can call these people. That never happened. Again, the only people that say they saw those bruises or the cuts in her mouth that they talk about. I think it was Cyrilda who said that they gave her chips of ice. The nurses did not record any of that. Darlie did not complain of cuts in her mouth, rawness in her mouth, to the nurses and doctors.